and welcome to English for You. I'm Erin.
And I'm Seb.
And we are talking about retirement.
Yes, something which I hope is going to be a long way away for both of us.
Hopefully. Or, I could just retire now and just go to my happy little place.
So you would retire early?
I mean, I have taken vacations long enough to call them retirements, but probably not going to do that again for a while. Yeah.
So what would you want to do when you retire?
I would like to live a pretty simple life, maybe some traveling. I already do that.
That'd be good.
And then work in my garden.
Oh, work on your garden. That's good.
Yeah, what about you?
I think retirement is a really good time to work on things that you didn't have time to do when you were working.
Okay.
So for me, I think that would be learning a musical instrument.
Interesting.
I've always wanted to learn a musical instrument and I never have the time.
Okay.
So, I don't know, maybe the saxophone, maybe the piano. I could also learn how to write my own music. Do something creative with the time.
So get those skills in.
Yeah, of course.
Interesting.
But before we retire, we have to do a couple of things first.
That's right.
I mean, work for 20 or 30 or 40 or 50 years.
Yeah.
But also we have to throw a retirement party. And that is what today's dialogue is going to be all about.
Well, I'm excited.
Yes, so am I. Let's jump in.
Reading.
Office party. Booking a retirement lunch. David is at the office. He is on the phone with Tina, who works at a restaurant.
Hello, Rosie's Restaurant. How may I help you?
Hi, my company wants to hold a retirement party at your restaurant.
Lovely. Who are you throwing it for?
Our boss. Do you have a private room big enough to hold 28 people?
Yes, we have a nice banquet room that can seat up to 35 people.
Great. Can we order our cocktails and food in advance?
Actually, we have a special event menu just for these occasions.
You have a special menu? Sorry, could you say that again, please?
A special event menu. It's a menu that's tailored for special events. I can email it to you.
Yes, please do that. So, I want to make a reservation for Friday, August 23rd. Can I book it for that day?
The room is free on that day. I will put you down for August 23rd then. Oh, I should mention, we ask for a $100 deposit to reserve the banquet room.
Can the deposit be refunded?
Well, we won't give it back to you, but we will take $100 off your final bill at the end of the event.
Great. Please send me the details and menu by email. My address is...
All right, today's article starts out with a scenario. We see that our main character, David, is on the phone. It says phone call. David is at the office. He is on the phone with Tina, who works at a restaurant.
I see. And Tina says, hello, Rosie's Restaurant. How may I help you? Okay, so Rosie's Restaurant, that's the name of the restaurant.
And she's obviously picking up the phone, responding in a really polite way. How may I help you? And David goes straight into what he wants from Rosie's Restaurant. He says, hi, my company wants to hold a retirement party at your restaurant. All right, so we've heard the word retirement and retire a couple of times now. Let's figure out what it means. Here, retirement is kind of when you're no longer working because of your age. Now, retirements typically start in your 60s or, when you're getting a little bit older and you don't really want or need to work as much anymore. You have money saved, but some people do like to work well into their 70s or even later. So it's sort of an individual choice, but you can start retiring generally around your 60 to 65. Now, the verb form of retirement is retire, which means to stop working because you're getting older and want to enjoy more free time. Here's an example. We celebrated my mom's retirement by taking her on a trip to Hawaii.
Wow, okay, nice celebration there. Okay, so we're back with Tina again, and she says, lovely, who are you throwing it for? Okay, so we throw a party, don't we?
Yes.
We hold a party or we throw a party. So what does David say?
All right, well, David is quick to answer. He says, our boss, do you have a private room big enough to hold 28 people?
Oh, that's a lot of people.
It is a lot of people,
yeah.
big party, big retirement.
It's a big occasion. It's a retirement. Well, Tina says, yes, we have a nice banquet room that can seat up to 35 people.
Excellent.
Okay, so it can seat enough people. Seat people would be to have enough space for all those people to sit down and enjoy their meal. Enjoy their banquet, which is a fancy meal, a big fancy meal that we have with lots of people. Normally to celebrate an important event, such as a wedding, an anniversary, or obviously a retirement party, like in our article. Now, because people love to hold big banquets to celebrate very special occasions, lots of hotels and restaurants have special rooms that are designed to fit big groups of people. We call these rooms banquet halls.
Exactly. We saw in that sentence that the banquet hall at Rosie's restaurant can hold up to 35 people. Now, the phrase up to is used to say that a number cannot be more than a certain amount. Here, you can fit anywhere from 1 to 35 people in the banquet room, seated, of course. But if you have more people than 35, you'll need to have a bigger room. Here's an example. Up to 800 people can travel on the small cruise ship at one time. It's unsafe to have any more than that.
Right, so we are back to our dialogue now, and David says, great, can we order our cocktails and food in advance?
Good question.
Cocktails. Okay, so they're drinking cocktails. That's very nice.
Yeah.
Cocktail is a noun, and it's a type of fancy mixed drink that usually contains alcohol. So mojitos, margaritas, pina coladas, those are all some very well-known examples. What's your favorite cocktail?
Well, actually, I don't drink, so I don't really have one. Yeah.
Okay, that's very healthy, very healthy choice. I drink sometimes. Anyway, back to cocktails. However, there are literally thousands of different types out there. As bartenders, the people who make and serve alcoholic drinks are always trying to think of new recipes. An example sentence of cocktail might be, Emily bought her and her friends a round of sweet rum cocktails to sip by the beach.
That does sound like a very nice time.
It does.
All right, well, he wants to order their food and drinks in advance. Now, when you do something in advance, you do it before a certain event or activity happens. Now, we often prepare things in advance so that we don't have to do it all at once on the day of the event. Of course, that is very stressful and not much fun. Here's an example. Gina and Ted planned their wedding well in advance so they would have time to fix things that went wrong.
It's good to plan in advance. Lots of good planning.
Yes.
Okay, so Tina says, actually, we have a special event menu just for these occasions. Okay, so that would probably be like a set menu, wouldn't it? So probably with a certain number of courses, so everybody has enough food.
Exactly.
Good idea.
Yeah. You might see something like that at a weya or at a wedding. You know, the people plan the food for you to eat, and that kind of takes the choice away from you, and you just know what's going to arrive at the table.
Yeah.
Makes things a lot easier for the kitchen, for the organizers and the guests. All right, well, David says you have a special menu. Sorry, could you say that again, please? So he's not really sure what's going on here. He's looking for Tina to sort of repeat herself. Maybe he didn't hear her correctly. Maybe he didn't understand her. Anyways, she's going to give him more information.
Yeah, it seems David is also seeing this word for the first time.
Right.
So Tina says, a special event menu. It's a menu that is tailored for special events. I can email it to you. Okay, so she repeated it there and she explained it. But what is a tailored menu? Let's find out a little bit more about that. Okay, so a tailored menu. Wow, fancy. Tailor, that is a verb. When we tailor something, we adjust its size, shape, or content so that it is perfect for a particular person or purpose. We can tailor our style so we look unique, tailor a lesson so it suits specific students, or if we're planning someone's holiday for them, we can tailor a trip to suit what they want to do. Now, in the dialogue, Tina is talking about a tailored menu, which is a menu which has been specifically designed to suit big parties, such as retirement banquets. Now, we don't just use the word tailor in the restaurant industry, though. one of the most common ways we can use this word is to talk about clothes. A tailored suit, for example, is a suit that has been specifically made so it fits one specific person perfectly. Who tailors the suit, though? The tailor does. That's right, a tailor can also be a noun, which means someone who makes and adjusts clothes for individual customers. Now let's take a look at an example of tailor, the verb. This school tailors its classes to meet each student's needs.
All right, with a tailored menu, that means David doesn't have to go to all 28 people and say, what do you want to eat?
I hate that.
What do you want to drink? I mean, that would just take forever and just be too confusing. So,
And splitting the bill.
yes,
Yeah.
not very much fun. So David, of course, replies to Tina. He says, yes, please do that. So, I want to make a reservation for Friday, August 23rd. Can I book it for that day? Now what he's doing here is he's making a reservation. Now when you make a reservation, you arrange for a certain item or service to be held just for you. Now you do this in advance so that you can make sure that this thing will be available for you when you get there. Now this is a really important thing to do if you want to eat at a busy restaurant or see a popular show or play. You can reserve, that's the verb form, your table or your tickets or whatever you're trying to get. Here's an example. I tried to make reservations at Raw, but the restaurant is completely booked until September.
I really want to eat it raw.
Just try to get a reservation.
I know, and it's so expensive. Anyway, we're back to our dialogue, and Tina says, the room is free on that day. I will put you down for August 23rd then.
Great.
Okay, great. So it's free, it's available. It's not been booked yet. But she also says that she will put David down. When we put someone down for something, we write down their name and we say that they are interested in doing or taking part in something, or an event or an activity. If I say to Erin that I put us down to go bungee jumping, for example, that means that I told the bungee jumping company that we would both do it, regardless of whether I asked Erin before or not.
Well, you're lucky that I already have, and so I would probably do it again.
I would not.
Okay.
No.
All right, well, moving on from the bungee jumping, Tina continues to say, oh, I should mention we ask for $100 deposit to reserve the banquet room. There we see that verb form of reserve. Okay, so to reserve the banquet room, he has to pay some money.
Yes.
But before she said that, she said something else important, and it involved the verb mention. Let's find out more about that now. Okay, so let's talk about the verb mention. Now, mention as a verb is something that you talk about or you write about something without giving too many details. So if you mention something, you're giving a bit of information about something, but you're not going too deep into the details. Now, you can also say the phrase, I should mention, which is a transitional or a linking phrase that is used to introduce important information that you should know on top of something else. So basically, in the article, Tina is saying, here's something else you should know by saying, I should mention. As an example, we could say, my company is hiring more people, so I mentioned your name, you should apply. Or you could say something like, I should mention you need to have certain qualifications before you apply for the job.
Okay, so David says, can the deposit be refunded? Now, the deposit, we've heard that word a couple of times.
Right.
That is the money that we normally pay in advance when we're making a big purchase.
Right.
So maybe we're buying a very expensive car and we don't have enough money to get it straight away.
Right.
We could pay maybe 10% or 20% of the cost of the car in advance,
Right.
and then we pay a little bit every month.
That's right.
Now, the first bit that we pay in advance is the deposit. We can also use deposits to say, if we're going to rent an apartment or if we're going to, I don't know, stay in a hotel.
Stay in a hotel, that's when I pay deposits quite often.
Yes, that's
Yep.
when you normally pay deposits. You give them some money to make sure that you won't break anything.
Right.
We won't steal anything.
Or you're just sort of reserving the room, you know?
Exactly,
Deposits
yes.
do that as well. So if you're trying to go away on a holiday to somewhere very busy and the hotel says, we'll only keep this room for you if you pay the deposit, that means you're paying to make sure they don't give that room away.
That's true.
Yeah.
Because it's also bad for them
Yes.
if you get to the day of going to the hotel and you say,
I don't want to
I don't want to go to the Philippines
Right.
today, you know?
Yes.
Anyway, but if you go to the hotel and you behave and you don't break any windows, then your deposit will be refunded. Now that is another important word, refund, a verb which means to give someone back the money that they spent on something. Notice how this word is made up of two parts. Re, which means to do something again, and fund, which means to give money for a particular purpose. Now, David is asking if he will be given back the money for his deposit, his yajin, later on.
Okay, so I don't know if you can always get a deposit back, and that's the case here. And what Tina says is, well, we won't give it back to you, or we won't refund it, but we will take $100 US off your final bill at the end of the event. So it's kind of like you're just paying a bit of money in advance, and instead of having to pay, you know, an extra $100 at the end, you know, your bill is probably going to be quite a bit of money, sort of thing. They'll just kind of take it off like it's a discount. You've already paid that part, so you don't need to pay it again.
And I think that's quite good, because if someone gave me $100 at the end of an event, I think I would just go shopping, you know? I wouldn't keep that money. I would spend that money.
Exactly. It's free money.
It's free money, exactly.
But it's not.
Yeah, it's not. Anyway, David thinks that's a good idea. He says, great, please send me the details and menu by email. My address is, and then we finish, okay? We're not going to find out what David's email address is, unfortunately. But we do find out that he wants the details. That is a plural noun, okay? And it is the small bits of information that makes something much larger, like a plan.
Right.
Confusing? Well, imagine that Erin and I are going on a trip to Taichung for the weekend.
Okay.
The details of our trip might include what time our train leaves from Taipei main station, what hotel we are going to stay at, and any places we might want to visit or eat at. So those are the details of our trip.
Okay.
Now, if I've done a really good job of planning my trip with Erin, I could say that I planned it in great detail.
Ooh, very good.
Or even that I planned it down to the last detail. That's when I researched every single little thing that we would do and made a very, very detailed plan.
It sounds really strict. I don't know if I want to go to Taichung with this guy.
I'm fun. I'm really fun. Anyway, our example sentence for details is, after buying the plane tickets for their trip to Thailand, Tom and Sandra met up to discuss the details.
Great.
Okay.
Okay, well, we're almost finished.
Yes, we are almost finished. Now that David has booked his boss's retirement party at Rosie's and is waiting to work out the details, it's time for us to jump over to our For You chat and talk about our own experiences throwing parties at restaurants.
Excellent.
So let's go there.
For You chat.
Okay, so our question for today is, what is the largest party you've ever had at a restaurant? What was the party for?
Okay.
So, Erin?
Well, it wasn't really at a restaurant, but
Okay.
I once threw a party outside of a temple in Kaohsiung, and I had them set up the tents and the banquet tables, and I organized entertainment, and it was for a birthday party, and there were about 60 people there.
Oh, so a lot of people. That must have taken a lot of planning in detail.
There were a lot of detailed plans, yes.
It was fun now.
Yeah.
Anyway, so for me, I guess it was just before I moved to Asia.
Okay.
When I was leaving Europe, the last week that I was in Europe, I had a big party at a restaurant that I used to work at.
Okay.
So because I used to work there, we had it on a day that they weren't open.
Great.
So we had the whole space for ourselves.
That sounds fun.
And, you know, I was, friends with the cooks and stuff, so they made, like, some meals for us. And it was good. It was really fun. It was a really nice
Excellent.
goodbye. It was a nice send off.
Okay,
Yeah.
there's another word. Send off.
Send off.
Like a goodbye.
A nice goodbye. Yeah.
All right, well,
right.
we have run out of time for today. We are not finished talking about this
We are not,
topic.
no.
We'll be back again tomorrow, so stay tuned for more then. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Office party. Booking a retirement lunch. David is at the office. He is on the phone with Tina, who works at a restaurant.
Hello, Rosie's Restaurant. How may I help you?
Hi. My company wants to hold a retirement party at your restaurant.
Lovely. Who are you throwing it for?
Our boss. Do you have a private room big enough to hold 28 people?
Yes, we have a nice banquet room that can seat up to 35 people.
Great. Can we order our cocktails and food in advance?
Actually, we have a special event menu just for these occasions.
You have a special menu? Sorry, could you say that again, please?
A special event menu. It's a menu that's tailored for special events. I can email it to you.
Yes, please do that. So, I want to make a reservation for Friday, August 23rd. Can I book it for that day?
The room is free on that day. I will put you down for August 23rd then. Oh, I should mention, we ask for a $100 deposit to reserve the banquet room.
Can the deposit be refunded?
Well, we won't give it back to you, but we will take $100 off your final bill at the end of the event.
Great. Please send me the details and menu by email. My address is...
Vocabulary Review.
Retirement. After working for 30 years, Greg will spend his retirement traveling and playing golf. Cocktail. Joan enjoyed sipping her cocktail at the bar while she waited for her coworkers to arrive. Tailor. This company sells shoes that are tailored to the needs of hikers and joggers. Reservation. I called the restaurant to place a reservation for a business lunch at noon. Mention. My boss mentioned yesterday that we would have a big meeting next week. Details. Please send me an email that has all the details we need to complete the project.
以上节目是由活用空中美语制作。活用空中美语杂志，请洽询全国各大书店。如欲索取试听教材，请来电02-2364-4000、02-2364-4000，或上网查询，网址是 www.english4u.net www.english4u.net